It's a great day to talk hockey with Grant McCagg on HabsCast.
Wonderful day. Hello, folks. I don't know about you, but I watched the World Junior game last night. I was curious to see how Michael Hage would stack up playing on the top line with Brady Martin and Gavin McKenna, who is perhaps slated to go first overall in the draft. He certainly didn't hurt his cause last night. He was pretty good. That whole line was very good, and just based on what I saw last night, at least, I have a feeling that they might keep that trio together as a line. There's a nice balance there, you know. Um, Hage is a really good skater. He looked good defensively too. I was quite impressed with how he played away from the puck. Good size skating combo, and it was kind of noticeable. He was one of the better as far as size skating combinations on the Canadian team. Hage stood out. So Martin, the all-purpose two-way heart and soul, blood and guts guy that scored 2 goals, got lots of skill too. So, but McKenna with 2 primary assists, Martin with 2 goals. Hage only got 1 assist officially, but really he should have had 2. I mean, the puck, he gave an outlet pass up to McKenna that hit the defenseman's stick. But I mean, we see that lots of times where it hits an opponent on the way, and McKenna got it right away and passed it to Martin and scored. Anyway, he made the play to get it out. If it wasn't for Hage, neither of the goals go in. So he was a big part of it. Had some other scoring chances. I got a video here I'm going to show all of his most notable plays in the game. And there's quite a few plays actually. He had some scoring chances as well, and came down close to having a couple of goals in addition to his, I'll say, 2 assists. But Michael Misa's joining the team, and of course, second overall pick, right? Stuck with the big club, so he was expected to San Jose. Because he's coming from pro, it's assumed, well, they'll just pop him into that slot, right? Instead of Hage. But I don't know if that's going to be the case, and I'll discuss that further after we have a look at the video here, and I give my impressions of what we saw from Michael Hage last night. Here, started each period. Hage was at the center of the whole game. I liked his nice. I like how he used his body. That's his patented move. He's pretty hard to stop when he's heading towards the goal. He's got a really good power move there. But so you'll see it in these highlights. He and it, in part, I guess it's because he's playing. Hey, he's playing in a wicked conference in college hockey, but his defensive game was quite good throughout this match. I liked his hustle on the back check. I liked right there. I mean, he going for the hit, kind of let a guy get past. That would have been maybe the one spot where he was would have liked him maybe to be a little more conservative, but it was in the name of trying to nail a guy. So I can forgive that to a certain degree. He did show some aggression. He had a couple of hits in this game, but I liked his battle. I liked, there was one of his hits right there. Good on the forecheck. I liked his physicality. Went to the net, finished his checks. he was decent on faceoffs as well. There's one where he didn't win it cleanly right off the draw, but tied up his man, and Canada got the puck. But here he is on the, he didn't. He certainly didn't lag on the back check, and I like that. I think he there was a good defensive positioning. Didn't a big guy that he was up against, and he didn't let him beat him. I liked how he played defensively there. And then went up for the pass, just missed it. But you'll see here, he's got really good, strong crossovers. There was a little bit of a risky pass. I think he did two of those during the game where he kind of backhanded it to the middle of the blue line, and while neither of them ended up costing the team, they're not real smart options as a rule. It's risky. Even though he had the right idea, I suppose. Play like that, you get it in deep. Sometimes you don't always have to maintain possession, especially if it means if there's a decent chance that it might become a costly turnover. I'm sure Dale Hunter had a chat with him about that. Here he is. Didn't move it over the line quick enough there. McKenna ended up going offside. He needed to keep skating there, but that happens. Takes a while to get accustomed to your new line mates, but I thought for the most part they were quite looked like they've been playing together for a while. So I like the chemistry. I like here. This is ended up losing it there, but I thought he made the right play. Here we are off to the second period. That was decent to get it up to a line mate, and then they scored. But he didn't get an assist on that because it hit the defenseman. But really, I don't know. IIHF can be a little chintzy when it comes to, and it was just onside, by the way, when it comes to second assist. But he made a good play to get that up to McKenna, and usually you give an assist in that instance. There was one of his scoring chances. He had a few in this game. I thought he was good all around. Good two-way performance from Hage, being asked to play first line center role and didn't look out of place at all. Skating, one of the better skaters, and there he nailed a guy. I like that. I liked. Good thing it wasn't right into the boards, or he'd have got a penalty. But he laid a couple of good hits in the game, and I don't mind that at all. Again, here he wasn't caught up ice. Pretty solid defensively. I liked. Again, I didn't mind his play away from the puck at all. And whoever plays McKenna is going to have to play that. And I think he showed last night to Hunter that he could well be the guy that ends up. That trio created chances all game. I thought he acquitted himself well. There's a nice balance there, here he got into a little bit of a skirmish with a big Swede. Again, I don't mind that. Another face-off win. So for a guy that's under 50% in college, now, mind you, a lot of 22, 23-year-old, 24-year-olds in college. It's not easy being a 50% plus face-off guy as a sophomore in college, as a teenager. So he gets to this level, and he actually, he might be above average at at the World Juniors, and that again will help him when it comes to decisions on who gets to play center, top two roles. Probably it's got to be. I think they got to be leaning towards Misa and Hage as the top two centers right now. Again, he was decent away from the puck there. And watch here, he came back to support there and gets the puck. Beautiful pass to McKenna. That was a nice play. They had and then later, of course, they on the winning goal, they had a nice give and go. But he's got good puck skills. And here we go. Here it is. Here, bing, avoided the hit and got it into McKenna. He didn't get much credit for that, but that was a really nice play. You put it right where McKenna could get to it, and McKenna, of course, eyes in the back of his head. Beautiful playmaker, isn't he? You gotta like it. And here, check out that. That's where he came down. That was probably the best save of the night, and it was off Hage. Like, check this out. Like, that was labeled. Really good shot. So he came damn close to scoring there. And then we'll see a little later that probably should have had an empty netter too. So, and here, I like that. Actually, back that up a bit. But he waited, and if that guy had received that pass, he was going to do the backhand pass to himself and probably empty net. But so it was a good attempt. There was the other pass into the middle that. Not crazy about that. He's got to be a little safer with that play, and just at that point, just get it in deep. Don't be trying, because that's intercepted. It could well be a breakaway the other way, and Dale Hunter will not be happy if that happens. There was a better play, get it in deep. When there's no good option, sometimes you just get it in deep, and they ended up getting it back anyways. And McKenna, he's a friggin' magician. People that were, oh no, he's not number one. Yeah, he is. We'll back it up a bit here. He was in front of the net here, pushed the guy away, just missed that. Again, another good scoring chance. So, and then he wheeled around and tried to stuff it in, but didn't quite do it. So you like that he had 2 points, one officially, but he had other chances too. So, and here he is out with 38 seconds left. I think that bodes well for him too. Like, it's telling you that, hey, Hunter appreciated how well he played defensively in this game. So he said, okay. He put him out on the wing, and here he is. He gets the puck, and actually, if you back it up here, and we just freeze it right here. I mean, is probably get it over to the guy coming in late, but I mean, if he gets it through the it's a goal. So, hey, what the hell? Go for it. Didn't quite do it. I imagine he wouldn't have been too happy if they'd ended up scoring the tying goal. But again, here he was in high on the forecheck, and came back in here. That ended her right there. So I like that he got on the last 38 seconds there. That tells you that the coach is Hunter likes what he sees. He trusts him. So will Misa come in now? The golden boy that, I don't know. Misa's only played 9 games this year. And it's not the first, he'll be a little rusty. Like, just because he played 7 games in the NHL doesn't guarantee, okay, that automatically means you're going to be on the first line. There have been a lot of times in the past that guys that were in the NHL, they don't get anointed just because, oh, well, they played some games in the NHL this year, so they got to be on the first line. I think, and I was trying to explain this to Darren Boyce, that typically you want at least one 19-year-old on each of your top lines. Usually it's more than that. And if they go with Misa, McKenna, and Martin, that's 17, 18-year-old and McKenna and two 18-year-olds as your top line. Misa's not great defensively. Like, he's got to keep working on it. That's why he didn't win a regular spot with San Jose, even though, there was a spot there for the taking. Last year in the playoffs, the last time he played important games, 4 games they got swept, Saginaw. He was on the ice for 16 goals against. That's 4 a game, which is just, I've never, that's the most I've seen since I started scouting from a player, 16 goals on the ice for in 4 games. It's crazy. So, when the games, last time that he played, when the games counted, it's safe to say he wasn't very good defensively. So do you put him with McKenna, who's not very good defensively yet? If there is a knock on his game, he's just okay away from the puck. He's not that good in his own zone. And he's a kid still. He's got to put on weight, get stronger. So do you pair those two together and not have any 19-year-old on your top line? Well, based on what I saw from Hage there, he's his defensive game is in a good spot right now. And I think it helps that he's been playing freaking college. He's been playing up against, in November, for instance, played against Minnesota, played against Michigan, played against Michigan State, or not Michigan, Michigan State. He's playing against really high caliber teams with high draft picks, older players. Like, I'd say AHL caliber, some of these teams that are playing against. And that's where Misa's coming from, but he only played 2 games in the AHL. So do you bring in a guy that's hasn't played much, little rusty? I mean, I could name Alex Daig is a good example, right? He got sent down from he was in the American Hockey League and played for Ottawa a bit, came down to the World Juniors. He found it tough. If you're not playing a lot and there's no guarantees that you're just going to walk into the World Junior tournament and waltz through it, especially at 18 years of age. It's typically a 19-year-old's tournament for the most part. And, trying to go with a top line, three 18-year-olds, and, Martin being the only one that's notable defensively as your top line against other teams' top lines. I don't know that, knowing Dale Hunter, he's probably not thinking that way. I mean, it's possible. I could be wrong, and they may move Hage down with someone else, but you also often see is, they put a line together in camp, and they don't want to be freaking putting together a top line, a week into it. These guys have been playing together. They played together last night. I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps that as a trio. They got both goals. They were the best line on the ice. So it clicked. Hage was really good. I like the balance on the line. There's a little bit of everything there. Playmaking, scoring, size with Hage, good skating with Hage. It's probably, if it were up to me, those 3, I think I would keep them together. They made 3 cuts today. It was Jackson Smith got cut, and they made what were the 3 cuts there? Smith, and then Jake O'Brien got cut, and Merrick Van Acker, right? Here's what I think might be the lineup, and I mean this is just a shot in the dark, but we'll see. I think McKenna, Hage, Martin, they keep those 3 together. Aginla, Misa, Martone on a second line. There's put Misa with 2 kids who are now 19, right? Aginla and Martone, yeah, he was drafted last year, but he turned 19 this fall. And big boy Aginla is 2 years from being drafted, top 10 pick. They're all top 10 picks. And I mean, when you say second line, you could easily say that's the first line too. But you want a balance. You'd like, you want 2 strong lines at the top. And I could see that being, those 6 in one form or another, but perhaps like I'm predicting here, those 6 as your top lines. Then you got Desnoyers, Lachenko, Bear, Reshny, Baudouin, Coots. Green Tree might be in there somewhere because they could use his size probably. Sam O'Reilly, good 2-way guy, but I think they might be the extras to start. It's hard to say because ideally that 4th line there, really you might have Reshny and Coots as the spares, or Bear might be spare. But I think Desnoyers and Lachenko are in the lineup. Baudouin's in the lineup. And then it's between Reshny, Coots, O'Reilly, and Green Tree as the 4 guys fighting it out for the other 2 spots. I mean, against a strong team, I could see O'Reilly, Green Tree, Baudouin as your 4th line as a, good 2-way defensive size, physicality, and energy 2-way play as your 4th line, and Coots and Reshny kind of be the extras. But Bear, he might. I know they had him on the second line last game, but he has not off to a great offensive start this year. He's coming back from Achilles. It's hard to say. He may end up being one of the guys that sits that's kind of on the bubble there too. So there's 5 guys that I think Bear, Coots, Reshny, O'Reilly, Green Tree, they might all take turns being the spares in this tournament. We'll see how it goes. But personally, I liked Desnoyers last game, and I think he's a winner in that he just brings too much not to be in the lineup. And Lachenko as well, pretty solid 2-way centerman, brings speed, almost made the Flyers this year. So that's kind of how I look at it right now. I don't know if that's going to be the way it goes, but personally, I think they try Hage. They keep that line together to start, and you know what ends up. I mean, we could debate this and talk about it, for an hour, and then one game into it, the lines get all switched. I find that at the World Juniors, especially if the team isn't winning, you'll see the lines get because hey, these are guys that never played together for the most part before, right? And it could well end up that they jumble it all up as it go along. I mean, Dale Hunter's not. He's been known to. He doesn't mind putting things in the blender, mixing them up. So lines in the blender. So, but I don't know. Give me your thoughts on that. If you think I know I got a lot of, oh, you're a homer for Hage, but no, I mean, he played very well. And it just makes sense to have a 19-year-old that has played 2 years in college. He's tied for the scoring lead in all the NCAA. Like he's earned it. He I know Misa was picked higher in the draft, but he's a year younger. He hasn't been playing very much. You know, it probably needs get his skating legs and not still has things to learn defensively. Not that Hage doesn't, but I was impressed by Hage's all around play in that game. I thought, well, he's a good skater, and if he pays attention to the defensive details, he can do the job defensively. Also, like he obviously had a good offseason. He put on 7 to 10 pounds, and that was needed. But it's noticeable that he's, you know, he looked physical in that game last night, and that's encouraging. I think right now, I think he's the best bet to play with McKenna and Martin, but it may end up being Misa. Uh, that'll be something fun to debate and see. We'll get a better look next game. We'll see who Misa's playing with, but I wouldn't be surprised if Misa, Oginla, and Martone didn't play last game. Well, I could see that being a trio, second line in the next, and we'll go from there. But usually at this point in the camp, at least a couple of the lines that you see in the first game are ones that they would, because you want them to get some familiarity, right? Not keep jumbling around, and then start the first game with trios that never basically played together in camp and in the exhibition games. Like you see it in the NHL, like Montreal put Kapanen and Demidov together early in camp, and they're still together, right? So anyway, that's my take on Michael Hage from last night. Good early return. Looks like a center, and there were times earlier this year that I questioned whether that's where he's going to play in the NHL. And there's still no guarantees of it, but I'm a little more optimistic that I've seen progression from him away from the puck. I've seen progression from him physically. I've seen progression from his competitiveness. So, and also seemed to do pretty well on face-offs last night. So I'm more optimistic that Hage can be one of the viable options at center for the Canadians down the road. Not saying that he won't end up on the wing, but I feel more comfortable saying that he's top 3 center option for the Canadians over the next 2 or 3 years, more so than I would have thought maybe 2 months ago. Excuse me. Oh, one other highlight to show you here. This is from today. Certain Mr. Alexander Zharovsky. Here, we'll turn this. Turn this up here. He did the slav there almost, the half slav, dragging his foot back so he didn't go outside. The only word I understood there was Zalarski. But unfortunately, it didn't really show a great highlight of the shot, but I think he picked the corner. So, anyways, Salavat won 2-1 today, and Alexander Zharovsky scored one of them. So, after a bit of a cold spell there, it's nice to see him back on the score. back on the scoreboard there. Good looking prospect, Hage and Jarosky. You gotta like it. We've got 413 watching on X and 26 here on YouTube. Come on over if you're watching on X there, folks, and join in the live chat. I'm going to start going over some messages here, comments, questions. I like to go through it all. We've built a great Habs community here, and I like answering questions and interacting with people. And if you're on X, I can't do that. So just click on the link. Like I think my second last Twitter post would have had the link to the YouTube. And just click on that and you'll go to the YouTube and join in the live chat. Give me your thoughts on if you think Hage is going to stick on a line with McKenna. And I mean, even if he doesn't, like, let's go back and look, like, if they end up putting Misa with McKenna and Martin, well, frig. I got no issue with him being with Iginla and Martone, or Denye and Martone or whatever. Doesn't matter who he ends up playing with. It's going to be good friggin' young players, and they're going to have a really good line. But pretty clear from last night that the intention is here for him to be one of the top two centers to at least start the tournament. And that's good news for the Habs. That's good news for Hage, and it's great news for Habs fans. So yet something else to get excited about, folks. And, I say that I get more excited about the World Junior Tournament than I do about Christmas. So, and that goes double if there's a player or two that are Habs property and playing in significant roles, and that's the case with Michael Hage and hopefully Mooney, Koivu. So there'll be some guys. It'll be fun keeping tabs on these guys throughout the tournament. Well, folks, we don't have too many questions yet. It's going to take me not going to take me long to get through this. Oh, yes, Pickford. Sorry to say the Pickford streak came to an end last night. He did not keep his multi-goal scoring streak going. It ended at 5. And his game-winning goal streak ended at 5. So he's still only tied with Newsy Lalonde. If you go through NHL history, Newsy Lalonde had 5 straight game-winning goals one season. And Bryce Pickford did the same in Medicine Hat. Unfortunately, last night, because I saw, I'm looking at, here's his goal. It was 4-3, made it 5-3. I go to the score sheet and say, please tell me the other team got 4 goals. No, they didn't score another one. So he got the insurance goal last night. One too many goal, one too late. I don't know. If I'd have been out there, if I was him, I'd have let somebody the last minute waltz around me and score so that when it was 7-3, so that he would get a 6th straight game-winning goal. But that's just me. As it turns out, in his last 8 games, he has 6 game-winning goals and the insurance goal. In 7 of the games, he got 6 game-winning goals, insurance goal, and for whatever freaking reason, there was a game where he didn't score. I don't know what the hell. And so he's slowing down. He only got 1 goal last night, but actually what he still has going, obviously, is a multi-point streak. I presume it's 6-game multi-point streak with 5 of them being multi-goals, and he's on a 6-game goal scoring streak, which is pretty incredible. But what makes it just astounding is the fact that he's a defenseman. I don't know what the junior record is for consecutive goal scoring streak for a defenseman, but he's got to be, if he hasn't already at least tied it, he's got to be damn close. And it wouldn't surprise me if that's the record, 6 games in a row for a defenseman. Somebody want to ask AI while I'm taping this and tell me what the response is. Doesn't always necessarily mean it's completely accurate, because AI told me that the all-time NHL record for game-winning goals consecutive was Alfie and Newsy Lalonde at 4, but Liam McGuire, who blows away AI when it comes to getting the absolute facts straight, thought it was 5 games for Newsy, and he looked into it, and in fact he was right. AI was wrong. So that'd be a fun trivia. Have AI against Liam McGuire trivia contest some night. Kind of like Blue, Big Blue, or whatever the friggin' name of that computer chess computer was, against all the great grandmasters. Hard to beat Liam. Anyway, 6-game goal scoring streak, 6-game multi-point streak now, and 6 game-winning goals and an insurance goal in his last 8 games on defense. So there's Montreal's 3 highly touted prospects, all rock and rolling right now. Life's good if you're a Habs fan that follows the prospects, or if you're a Habs scout. Gonna be a fun Christmas for the Habs scouts this year. All right, Francois Bada. We've got a few, like we've got Connor Bedard's nephew, we've got Gaston Gingros's first cousin, we've got Dickie Moore's grandson, Mo LeMay, grandnephew. Like, we got a lot of NHL ties here with some of the people that come on here. Golden, I don't know. Golden, I'm trying to think. Bill Goldsworthy, no. Anyway, lots of good hockey names in the chat. We may not go too long today. It doesn't look like we got a very big crowd at the live chat, even though we've got 500 watching in total, most of them on X. Come on over. Join us. Jake Moore, Hage played a much more. Oh yeah, Francois. Get back to I never did read what he said, but Pickford only had a goal and assist. He's in a slump. Yep. Cooling off. I guess it affected him not getting a name to the World Junior team. Affected him quite a bit. I like Carroll's last night. Ethan McKenzie, he competed. He's all right player. He's still not in Pickford's. And he took a dumb penalty at the end there. Almost cost the team. So, I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be hard to convince me that Pickford shouldn't have been on that team. But, hey, I'll be cheering for him anyway. Oh, what happened here? Fort George. Great content. Thanks, Fort George. Appreciate the teal. I always love the teal messages. Except, Jay Teal, you got the name, Jay. Is there ever gonna be a teal message from you, my friend? I'll get to your comment in a sec. Yeah, I know, I agree, Jake. He did play well. I mean, in the last couple of games that I watched of him, his defensive play has picked up, and I think on my last scouting report before this, I did mention that even though he wasn't taking faceoffs, he was playing. He was playing the center role in his own zone, and and improved from last year for sure away from the puck. And then last night, it was good. Both Martin and McKenna were impressive, but Hage starting the plays was huge. Yeah, no, he was a big part of both goals. And he who started that play on the first one in his own zone, right? Got it up and then joined the play, and it didn't get a lot of because McKenna made the nice play to and then Martin made the nice deke, but his pass was every bit as impressive as the play by the other two. So good news. Sage playing center or wing for Team Canada? Well, okay, you must have put this up early because we just went through as you could see, he played center. Claude, I like how he skated a lot. Yeah, he was one of the better skaters. Someone was mentioned, he's not a very good skater now. No, he definitely in his peer group, his age group, definitely above average skater. Powerful. He's got a bit of a wide stance, but that doesn't. I think Nathan McKinnon has a bit of a wide stance too. Like that doesn't really always matter. Very powerful skater. Good crossovers, quick, but stride is powerful. Yeah, he's fast. How were Canada's other lines in defense? They're fine, but we're focusing on the big guy here. Like I didn't mind Lachenko. Denwye played really well. He made one freaking kicked the puck up. It was such a smart play. It was a perfect pass, and he didn't even use a stick. Denwye is a winner. Coots was solid. Reshny was okay. Green Tree made a couple of good plays, decent along the wall. Didn't see a lot from O'Reilly, but he's dependable. Bear was I thought he was a little quiet. I liked Lachenko's game. On defense, it was Carroll's impressed me. Verhoff was good. The two draft eligible kids looked pretty good. Everybody was pretty solid on defense, really. I didn't even mind Jackson Smith's game, to be honest with you, but he ended up getting cut. He ended up being cut. McKenzie was okay. They obviously like him, and they paired him with Parekh. I guess they figured, defensive guy with some competitiveness with Parekh. Parekh was Parekh. I mean, he doesn't mind jumping up into play. Will take some risks offensively, but handled the puck. He's very poised and confident out there, just like in junior hockey. The defense was fine. LeBron said Suzuki's on a short list of 4 to make it. Horvat? No, you got to take. I like Horvat, but you got to take Susie over Horvat. Yeah, that means they're going to take some guys that I don't agree with, if that's the case. Wilson, I get. They could use his size in there. Celebrini shouldn't be on the short list. He should be on the list. I really hope, Mark Stone, I'm sorry. He couldn't keep up at the Four Nations. And if they name him, I don't agree with it. Like if Mark Stone over Suzuki is just wrong, as far as I'm concerned. And that better not mean that Cirelli's on the team either. He's got to be one of the guys. Connecting Cirelli, and I wouldn't take what's his face in Caroline either ahead of him. Jarvis. does that mean they're all on the team? I disagree. If they're not on the short list and these guys are, for me, I'd take Wilson, Celebrini, and Suzuki over all those guys. But that's me. Yeah, I did. Jay, I did say that Van Acker, Smith, and O'Brien were cut. Just had to, took me 10 seconds in my brain, but I got it. Got it out there. Memory may be short, but I still got one. Shot got blocked. Yeah, you mean the empty netter, but oh well. There. Hello, enjoy the tournament. There's our Philadelphia dude. Jiggy, getting jiggy with it. What did you think of Armstrong's comment of no player is untouchable on the Blues team or NHL? I don't think too much of it. I don't put too much stock in comment. You get asked. Depends on the question too, right? I like how answers always get put up, but then it doesn't include what the question was. I mean, Wayne Gretzky got traded. And that's probably what he's alluding to a certain degree. Anybody can get traded. So you don't say like, no, because who would be an untouchable on the? I mean, if Pittsburgh comes along and says, "Yeah, we'll trade you Crosby, but we want Robert Thomas," do you not think that Doug Armstrong would part with Robert Thomas for Crosby? You probably would. I mean, fuck, it's Crosby. So, yeah. What are the players in the NHL that are not available for the World Junior? Yeah. Who are the players? Well, all the guys that are playing right now. You named a few of them, but whoever is now on the team is who's going to be on the team. Whoever is not that's playing in the NHL, that's your list. I don't have it memorized. Oh, you watched Simon's movie on Tubi? Okay. What the I hope you didn't watch the Love or Lust one. You watched Charlie Gadget or whatever the name of it was there. Charlie Tango, that's it. Charlie Gadget starred Lane Hudson. That's going to be his next one. Looking forward to watching the Team Canada junior team. Yeah, for sure, my friend. And George, again, thank you for the $5. By the way, I'm going to do a show after tonight too, after the Habs game. I couldn't. I was just pooped last night. Couldn't. I fell asleep like not long after the junior game. It just wasn't going to happen. I wanted to do a show after, but I figured I'll do it. I'll do it this afternoon, and then I'm doing another one tonight. So try to keep you guys satiated with your Habs and hockey content. Jiggy, didn't get to see Lachenko or Berglund yesterday. Doesn't seem like I missed much. Berglund had a couple of he's a big, strong boy, right? I didn't mind Lachenko. Lachenko's I think he'll be he'll develop into a speedy two-way second line center is his I think is his upside. And that's pretty good. I don't have an issue with that. Do I agree with Pierre that Hage is a Habs untouchable prospect? Absolutely not. There's no untouchable prospect. The closest one would be Reinbacher. Untouchable? Are you? No, Frank. Not a chance. Depends what you're getting. What's my take on Jonas Wu? Undersized, undrafted, benefits from playing with Pickford. He'd be a good AHL defenseman, maybe. Team will invite him to camp. Maybe he'll get picked late in the draft, but we've seen lots of those guys come along. You get on the right pairing and you score a bunch of goals in your draft year, but he doesn't have the size, physicality, defensive game to excite NHL teams too much. Smart player though. Glad to see him and Pickford doing well together. But he won't be drafted by the Habs if that's what you're thinking. Hage has a wide base. Yes, most top players have wide bases. There you go. McKinnon does. I hate how everyone compared Bear to Ryan Leonard last year. To me, Bear has never played like Leonard and is nowhere near Leonard. Oh, he's competitive. Bear's competitive. It's maybe not as strong, but there's some similarities there. You're being a little hard on him because he didn't stand out in one World Junior game. But, you know, he's coming back from a freaking bad Achilles tendon tear, so maybe he won't be near Leonard because of the tear, but last year he was near Leonard. He played that type of game. Maybe not quite as physical, but I loved Bear before his injury. And every NHL scout did, and with justification. He gamer, skilled, tough, competitive. I like Leonard more, but in that class, like that type. Bit of a mix of Zook and Slav. No. The physicality of Slav. No. It's not nearly as big as Slav. And he's not as good defensively as Zook. I can't agree with that. But his defensive game has improved. Could Pickford eventually be used like Mark Streit? Oh, I think Pickford's got better all-around skills than Mark Streit. Who's a Winnipeg boy? I believe he's 5'10". Yeah. Oh, good for him. He's having a good. And his dad's a head coach. Yeah. Well, there's been other woos, right? His brother play for Moose Jaw, maybe. I know there's been other defensemen named Woo, and I would imagine it's probably his brother. I think he played. I don't know if he played with Brooke. I think he may have. Let me just double check here on the woos. I don't think too many teams are going to be wooing him. He might get an invite this year. I mean, hey, 16 goals, 25 assists. That's nice stats. But yeah, Jet Woo. Yeah. Well, if he does, if he does get drafted, he'll be going woo woo for sure. Yeah, his brother played with Brooke, right? So I think it was his defense partner. So That's kind of cool. Two defensemen drafted by the Canadians that end up being partners of both Woos. Josh Brooks, defense partner on Moose Jaw back in the day. There's a little bit of whatever trivia for you. Bouchard better not be on the team. He can. There's some good and bad with Bouchard. I'm surprised Tavares doesn't get more votes for Team Canada. Great at faceoffs, makes most of his points at even strength. Well, if they like what's his face there so much, Stone. Certainly, Tavares is no slower than Stone. It's not going to be a cakewalk for Canada. Lots of high-end competition. You're talking about the World Juniors, I hope, I gather. Schaefer. Lots of scoring in his first movie. Yeah, well, that's what I said. He scored more than the Habs did the other night. I had some fun with that. I don't know how much fun. Well, he laughed when he saw I said, well, here's the highlights from the game last night. Hey, you can't take yourself too seriously. I'm going to watch all the Snakes movies over the holidays. Yeah, well, time on your hands. I'm waiting. I was waiting last night, Grant. Today is just as good. Yeah. Well, I posted something on X, and if I was able to post something here, I would have, but you get a notification, right? When the live, so you would have known by, I don't know, 9 o'clock that I wasn't going to be doing a show, because I do it live after the games, and you got a notification. So from AI, other players not lended to junior team, Seneca, Schaefer, Catton. Yeah. Oh, I know. Celebrini, Catton, Seneca is your first line. Not bad. Yes, other teams are always lucky that Canada doesn't send all their best teenagers, because no one can touch us usually as far as talent goes. How will Pickford's game translate to the NHL? Well, I don't. I mean, I can only, I can't be emphatic one way or the other of how his game is going to translate. I think he brings an elite dimension. He'll score goals. He'll be on power play. Probably third pairing right defenseman. His defensive game is decent. He plays with a physical edge. He's mobile, good puck retrievals, good in transition. He'll just have to keep rounding out his game, and likely be a year or two in the AHL, get tuned up, and come up and help the Canadians score some goals, and be a solid NHL defenseman, and perhaps one day top four right defenseman. That would be what I think. He may end up not quite being good enough, but I think anywhere from four or a 3 to 6 could be a second pairing, could be a bottom pairing that helps on the power play and score some goals. Wherever he plays, whether it's AHL, NHL, he's going to score. He's going to score some goals with that shot of his. It's 10 out of 10. Have we brought up Dano yet? Who's this? I Am Wonder or Liam? I Am Wonder. Okay. No, we haven't brought up Mr. No Goals, 5 assists, Phil Deneau. Are we supposed to get excited over what is he making $5 million a year and he's got $1 million a point? I don't know. 3 years ago, I'd have been excited about getting Phil Deneau. But should I be today? If the price is like free, if somehow or another they hold back some of the salary, then I'd think about it, but I don't know. He's 32, no goals, 5 assists in 30 games. I mean, Joe Veleno, even Joe Veleno has 2 more goals than him, and see how much of a whipping boy he is. So I don't know. If he came to the Habs and in 30 games in a row he didn't get a goal, would that get you excited? I'm not sure. Is Deneau going to be the Habs if they can get him for nothing? Maybe. I don't know. Is he playing any better than Joe Veleno right now? Veleno's got what, 6 years younger at a fifth of the cost? All those things have to be considered, right? Apparently he's not the player he was when he was with the Habs, helping them get to the Cup final. Exhibition game at that. Yes, it was. Francois. Tony. Great show, Grant. Thanks, Francois. I appreciate it. I'll add it to my piggy bank. I don't know. Yeah, Bear had a serious injury. And there were reasons why in the Ryan Leonard mold, as good as Ryan Leonard, well, frig, I had Ryan Leonard ranked 4th overall, so I'm not going to say that he was equal to Ryan Leonard, but that type of player, and with justification, there aren't many that are in Ryan Leonard's mold, and from last year's draft class, Bear was probably the closest, just not quite as big. Leonard's pretty strong guy, although Bear kind of showed that too, that he's Wu was drafted by the Canucks. Yeah, I noticed that. And plays in the AHL. Yep. But he wasn't good enough either, right? I mean, he's bigger than his brother, and he hasn't made it, right? But put up similar point totals. It's not easy when you're 5'10". You got to be pretty dynamic to be drafted as a 5'10" defenseman. Was the Suzuki trade Bergevin's best trade? I don't know. I'd have to see a list of all his trades. The Phil Deneau trade was a pretty good trade too, considering like they just got rid of Fleshman and Weiss, and they got Deneau and a second. Was it? That was a decent trade. Bergevin made a number of good trades. That was maybe his strong point as a GM, was that he made just about every trade he made turned out well. But I mean, you'd have to say the Suzuki trade, is definitely up there. Petrie from the Oilers for, draft pick. And he ended up playing, well, he was top 3 and probably top pairing for quite a while there. So I'd say those 3, the Petrie, the Suzuki, and the Danault deals would be the main ones. Don't forget the Danault trade got Romanov as well. So, and Romanov turned, into Doc. So Fleshman and Weiss, who were basically done for, Danault, who gave some great years, and then Romanov for a couple of years, and then now Doc. That's not bad. But certainly, as far as the best player that they got in a trade was Suzuki, but Max Pacioretty was nothing. He was that was the best return out of all of those deals, right? And maybe if he stays in Montreal, he doesn't suffer those injuries that he's suffered, and maybe he has 4 or 5 30-goal seasons if he's re-signed and all that. But he wanted out, so. But value. The Danault trade and the Suzuki trade probably the best, and Petrie right there too. But I'd give the edge to Suzuki because, hey, first line center. They only looking for one for 25 years, and they got one now. So yeah, somebody's saying, "Oh, Hage going to be the first line." Hage is going to be first line center, and Suzuki will be second line center. Just hold off there. A little early to be saying that. Somebody put up. They had Hage first line center, Suzuki's second, and Kapanen fourth. Yeah, that's I like Hage, but Dovish is playing tonight. No surprise there, right? Hopefully he doesn't handle the puck behind his net too often. How Seneca didn't make it last year was a crime. Yeah, you notice this year they took all the top draft picks. They invited all of them. Ended up cutting 2 high picks, but they at least invited them all. Of course, Seneca got invited last year finally after the uproar, and then cut him anyway. Yeah, it was a travesty. It really was. Going to miss a lot of tonight's game. Both grandkids have hockey games tonight. All right, well, if you make it for the post game, we'll try to get you up to date as possible, Sheldon. We could send Line back, or Gallagher cap has to come close. Send them back for what? For Danault? We're already overpaying Galley, Line and Anderson. I'm surprised by Danault's downfall. He was okay last year, especially in the playoffs. Well, guys in their 30s, it can be quick sometimes. Like, you can look back in the history of players. Once they hit 30, 32, there can be a sharp decline. Well, it's a thin line between being a good NHLer and being an AHLer. It's not that big a gap. Sometimes it just, once a player hits his, he's 31, 32, suddenly it can sometimes be quick. Maybe he bounces back. We'll see. How do you think Koivu will do in the tournament? I'm not sure. I kind of was impressed by Koivu at the start of the tournament. By the way, if you're watching this on X and 650 of you are, come on over, join us, chime in. I'll answer your questions. I go through all the live chat questions here, so you may as well pipe up, and you'll get your comments and questions answered. Not sure about Koivu. Didn't mind him at the start of the year. Been quieted down ever since. I don't know. I mean, it's a chance for it because he's playing in Liga. Maybe he'll find this. He'll get his confidence and he'll have a good tournament. But this is his last chance, right? And hopefully. Did I see Jurovsky's last goal? Hey, Pierre, late to the party, are you, buddy? You mean that one? I don't miss anything, Pierre. Come on now. You know better than that. I wish I didn't miss anything. I miss far too much. That's why you guys you're my backup. Thank you. Yeah, I did see his last goal. Yeah, H might end up being a winger. Maybe acquiring Suzuki Preventos, finishing last a few years and getting Celebrini, Schaefer, etc. Well, yeah. Maybe drafting KK instead of Tkachuk meant that we got Slav and Demidov. Right? Everything happens for a reason. I mean, that's why I don't dwell too much on the past because, okay, could have picked that guy, but then would we have got that guy? Right? Would the Canadiens have got Reinbacher, Demidov, and Slav if they had drafted Tkachuk? And if, 3 years before that, they drafted this guy instead of, it kind of ends up balancing out in a weird kind of way in one way or another, right? I'd go on the record saying no, they wouldn't have ended up with Slavkovsky, Demidov, and Reinbacher if they had drafted Tkachuk. He'd have made them just good enough not to be right at the bottom. So, all right. So, why cry over spilt milk? Because just as long as you don't keep making the wrong choices, picking the wrong guys, then good. But also, if they'd have picked Tkachuk, would Berge and would Berge have been fired? Maybe Bergevin's still the GM. So maybe Bergevin doesn't want to pick a Russian 5 overall. Maybe Bergevin, did want Russian the year before it took Michkov. He did not. I was not overly impressed with Michkov the other night, but he just got to bounce back. I will be back for the post-game show. All right. Well, we'll try to make it back for the start because I don't like rehashing it later. But if you do come in late, and you can ask nicely. I might recap for you again. hopefully you're there for at 9:45 sharp or whenever the game ends. Was a nice goal, wasn't it? I wish usually they show 3 different highlights of it, and they didn't really have a good camera angle on it. But I presume he hit the short side and hit the corner. It was nice. Do I see Hage more as a top 6 winger or a center with the Habs? Well, I don't know. Like I've had this. Thank you, Anthony Desjardins. Desjardins. Sorry, I have discussed that quite a bit on my podcasts, and I don't know that there's first of all is a guarantee that he'll be top 6. He might be third line, but that's because the Canadians. It depends if they pick up another piece, and it depends on Jurowski. It depends if Kapanen keeps progressing like he is, because Kapanen's looking like it's going to be hard to supplant him as a second line center. I know there are a lot of media guys that disagree with that, but I'm going to die on that hill. Hage depends on Jurowski too, right? If Jurowski ends up being a better center than Hage, then Hage could well end up being on the wing, and it might be on the third line. It might come down to Hage and Jurowski fighting for one top 6 spot, and may the best man win. They're both very good, but the Canadians going forward 2 or 3 years from now, that top 6 is going to be competitive. There's going to be some really good battles in camp. But what you want, if you want a contender, you want 3 really good lines. And hey, if down the line, Hage, Doc, and Jurowski just throw it out there as your third line or something like that, Canadians might be a pretty damn good team. Hage, Jurowski, Bolduc, or whatever. On that point, thank God we did not draft Tkachuk. This blunder helps us a great deal in the rebuild by being worse. Well, and how much has, how often has Tkachuk got them into the playoffs, right? Not too often. They've been kind of a bit of a treadmill. Would Molson have hired Gordon and Hughes? Probably not. If what? If they had drafted Tkachuk? Yeah, maybe not. What do you think the Habs' biggest need up front is, short term, long term? Well, short term, they need like a Stamkos for the top 6. Long term, another Slavkovsky type for the top 9 for sure, maybe 2. Laval plays tonight. Do you think they'll be playing Monty? Oh yeah, guaranteed they're playing Monty tonight. Guaranteed. He's going to play probably every game till he gets back. Do I know Hayden Staveroff? He jumped out of nowhere and took the first place in NCAA for points per game. I'll have a look. Thanks. Basically, what may seem like a catastrophe at the moment ends up being a blessing later on, and then not so much. Yeah. The Buddhist village story. There you go. Confucius say. grasshopper not always greener on the other side. So just a second here. Hayden Stavroff. It's from Dublin. Dartmouth, yeah. They don't necessarily always play great competition in that. Hayden's, I don't know how you pronounce it. So he's 22, 5'11". These guys pop up every year. He's got 13 goals. Yeah. Played in ECHL for a couple of years. Stats weren't great. So in his draft year, 55 points. So not overly big. Yeah. I don't know. He's 21. Not going to get too excited about that. Should we call up Rhino for the back-to-back this weekend? Should have called up Rhino a while back. Is Matheson back, or what's the has there been any updates on Matheson? Is he out for a while? I'd like to see Reinbacher call up, yeah. Habs, PK is 25th in the league. Should we only be patient and wait for Gooley? No Matheson tonight? Frig, eh? Wait for Gooley and Newhook to come back or do something else. Phil Deneau. I'm itching to see Rhino. Yeah, you're not alone. Still day to day. Well, day to day. That's not too bad. Matheson day to day. Get him back here for the weekend, I hope. Mightn't be a bad thing for him to have a little bit of a rest. Freaking playing 27 minutes a game. Little rest now and then little rest at the Olympic break. Be all refreshed for the home stretch. That hurts not having Matheson right now and Gooley. I thought Struble was decent last game. He stepped up. He has to be solid here with Matheson out now. And I did like how he played last game. We need Canadians need him right now to be solid. And I liked what I saw from him. He was skating really well, and they need solid performances from Strubes right now, because he's playing. He's going to be playing more minutes. Yeah, they're protecting Reinbacher. Hey, with so many, don't forget too, right? Like, who do you, if you bring him in, it's a pretty young defense group, right? Carrier, the only guy like over 25 or 26. Pretty young. Hudson and Struble and Engstrom. Jack Eyes doesn't have a whole lot of experience. Do you want to throw in another rookie into that group? Maybe not. It's asking a little much, perhaps. All right, folks. I'm all caught up to date on the chat questions. Thank you, Fort George, for the contribution, and Francois again, as always, seems to kick in there. Appreciate it. It's much appreciated. Oh, I missed this one. How will LJ Mooney do in the tournament? LJ, I don't know. I presume he's going to make the team. Did they pick extra players, or is it the U.S. usually just the guys they name make the team? They don't have cuts as a rule. Sometimes they do. I mean, he's suited for this type of event, right? He's typically the speedy, smaller guys do half decently in these kind of tournaments. I think Mooney could have a good. He might have a nice tourney. I hope so. The KHL does Jurowski play against good teams? KHL teams don't face everyone. Yeah, they play. Well, their division is pretty good. There's two divisions, and the other, if I'm not mistaken, the other division's not as strong. But there are some teams that aren't great, but it's fairly good hockey, but not. I hope he's not there too long. As soon as his contract's up, get him over here and get him playing North American hockey. Isn't USA coach the coach of LJ Mooney? Yeah. I don't know. I haven't paid attention to that, but if he is, then he'll likely be playing him. Will it be at center? Yeah. Well, Motzko's the head coach, yeah. Well, then, if Motzko's the head coach, then yeah. But he hasn't been playing them at center in Minnesota. Is he going to play him at center there? I guess he could. Motzko's way back when had Ryan Poehling. I remember interviewing him at the time. He liked Poehling a lot. Yeah. Yeah, Habs really need a right shot center for sure. Just add him to the growing list. Yeah, okay, folks. I better get rolling here. I'll be back on after the game tonight. I booked the dungeon here. The young lad will have to be patient, wait for me to get my show in. So I appreciate you coming on, hanging about for a while, and we'll see you in a few hours, approximately 6 hours from now, a little more than that. Thanks again. Tune in at 9:40. I should be ready to roll, and here's hoping the beer tastes sweet tonight. Okay. Goodbye for now.